be great if we could plan life-changing moments? I'm Gene Weiland, but it's all about him. Welcome to a fun place to get serious about Bible study. I was pulling up to the intersection of Cedar and Mineral Springs Road when it hit me. Everything is about Christ. Everything. Even brushing our teeth is about Christ. I have no idea why I was thinking about teeth in that moment, but I was. Before I had compartmentalized my life into the spiritual, like studying the Bible, praying, and going to church, and into the secular. Those things that aren't about Christ, like cooking, cleaning, and dental care. I wasn't trying to separate parts of my life from Christ so that I could do my own thing like I did during my early college years. In those days, I still professed Christ, but I did not live for him or look like him. I lived for me and the sin that I loved so much. But in God's kindness, he drew me to himself, and I've never again wanted to live any part of my life separate from him again. And yet, at times, I have terribly. This is why that moment in the intersection was so life-changing. I learned early on what Jesus said in John 15:5, that apart from him, we can do nothing. We wouldn't even have breath or life without him. The life of every living thing, as Job 12:10 says, is in his hand, as well as the breath of all mankind. So I knew that we exist, breathe, and move by his power and his permission and his tender care. Every day he sustains our lives, and he doesn't owe this to us. It is a precious gift. Now think about this. Even those who despise Christ and curse his name receive their every breath from him. But even knowing all of this, I still viewed life as segmented, as though some things are about Christ and other things are just regular life. And, everything was about me. I even made my life verse about me. Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly beyond all that we ask or think, according to the power that works within us. I love this verse because it promises that God can do far more than we could ever ask or imagine. But I put the focus on me, about what God could and would do for me. I had no idea that I was so fixated on myself. I just thought I was simply believing God, who does more than I can ask or think for me. But then I pulled up to that intersection and turned a corner on my understanding about life and God. There is nothing in heaven or earth that's disconnected from Christ, not even brushing our teeth. It is all about him. It is definitely not about me, and it never was. And I have good news for you. It's not about you either. Recognizing this truth changes everything for us for the better. Since that life-changing intersection, God has been steadily steering my heart away from living life me-centered and toward seeing that all of life is about, for, and through Christ. I've been learning that this truth, that it's all about him, is the secret to contentment and abiding peace and joy. Because when everything is about us, we wind up demanding our rights, protecting our rights. We're so easily offended and deeply disappointed when life doesn't go how we'd planned. But when everything is about Christ, when we understand that, believe it, and live that way, we yield our rights to him. We rest in him and in his all-powerful control. We trust in his wise providence and his loving sovereignty. We trust in all of his glorious attributes. I still love the truth of Ephesians 3:20, especially in its context of the very next words in verse 21 that I'd somehow missed before. To him be glory. But now I've also added to Ephesians 3:20 as my life verse, Romans 11:36. For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen. Phew. I'm Jean Weiland, but it's all about him, and I love it. And now you know the story behind my podcast name, and I suddenly feel the need to brush my teeth. Thank you for joining me today. If you like what you heard, share it with others. Hit the subscribe button and write a review on your favorite podcast app. I'm Jean Weiland, but it will always be all about him.